Passover's over, and wouldn't it be neat if you could use all the matzah that you didn't eat? Catch it like a frisbee with your friends in the park, or you could jump in the water and pretend you're a shark. You can make a matzah big and play the guitar, and you can make a matzah license plate for your car. Use it as a coaster when you're drinking your beer, or you can throw it as confetti for a happy new year.
7. Insulate.
8. Decorate.
9. Exfoliate. 10.
Constipate? Passover's over, and wouldn't it be neat if you could use all the matzah that you didn't eat? Crumble up some matzah to line your hamster cage, or you can use it as a bookmark to hold your page. Break a stack of matzah when you practice your karate. Build a matzah doghouse for your doggy named Scotty. Make a little matzah board and wave it goodbye, or you can make a pair of matzah wings and learn how to fly. Wear some matzah jewelry, make a picture frame for me. Have a drink of matzah tea. Matzah's all that I can see. There's just one more thing to do with unleavened bread. You can eat it, 'cause it ain't all that bad.
Welcome to another episode of the Hanukkah Erotica Book Club podcast. I'm Raizel, and I'm joined by my stepsis and co-host Malya. Hi, Mal.
Hello, here I am. Finally.
You are. Here on the Hanukkah Erotica Book Club podcast, Malya and I review all things Jewish romance, mostly books, sometimes TV shows.
The occasional movie.
Occasional movie.
But mostly books, really.
Mostly books, yeah. We're a book club.
Right. Hence the
all
name.
Kinds of Jewish books.
Sometimes books that we think are going to be Jewish and aren't. Sometimes books that we think are going to be romances and aren't.
All that is true.
Yes. But, you know, we have fun.
We do. So much to catch up on.
It's been a while.
We were going to do a pre-Pesach episode. We're delayed because I wasn't able to do that. And then I foolishly brought my microphone to Florida thinking that I could record in a house with 40 people.
I knew that was a long shot. I had a sense to go beforehand, but I figured, you know, you were offering. Why not hold out the possibility?
And you know, we drove.
How was that?
Honestly, amazing. I'll tell you all about it, but shockingly good. It went as good as it could have gone. I'm completely shocked. But we drove, which is why I was able to bring my giant microphone and my headphones and my computer, and it was all good, but it didn't work out.
Right.
I should have known. Okay, the drive. Have you ever driven to Florida?
No.
Okay. I drove to Florida growing up, like almost once a year.
Oh.
And it was such an ordeal. It was like 2 full days stopping over in a motel, like a scary motel.
Was it just you, your mom, and dad?
Exactly. I had the whole back seat to myself. It was pre-seatbelts. I mean, like, seatbelts weren't required in the same way. I had stretched out blankets, pillows. I was queen of the castle in the backseat of the car. But
Great.
I would get completely loopy. I have very positive memories of driving to Florida as a kid, but I remember the last stretch, I was losing my mind. We got in the car at night and drove straight through, and the kids slept.
Oh, wow. Smart. Wait, but were you exhausted?
Yes. I slept a little, woke up, felt weirdly refreshed, took over for Mitch. He slept. Took over for me. We took turns a couple times. Also, driving at night on in an empty highway when everyone you love is just completely asleep. Like, I love hearing everyone's breathing. It's very comforting to me.
Totally.
Minnie was in the car. I hear her breathing, our dog. Like, it was really very peaceful and lovely.
That's so sweet.
I loved it. And
except then when like in the horror story version of that, you get lulled to sleep and then you like go through the median.
Exactly. So we were both very aware
Great.
of how heavy our eyelids were and staying awake, which is why if I didn't feel refreshed for my weird little car nap, I wouldn't have volunteered. At one point, I was fast asleep and I just feel the car stopping. We're turned into a parking lot and parked. And Mitch is just about to take a nap in a parking lot. Like, I was like, what's going on? He's like, I just need to close my eyes for a few minutes. I was like, I'm good. Let me drive. Like, I don't need to. So we were being very safe.
Was there any contingency plan for like, what if we're both exhausted? It was just like, we'll pull into a parking lot.
I mean, if we needed to stop at a hotel, of course we would have.
But you hadn't like plotted out a particular hotel.
No,
like,
but neither did I growing up. Like, they're just all over.
Yeah, sure.
Every exit, you know. As the Avett brothers say, all exits look the same. But, you know, so we, I guess that was our plan. But he just needed 30 minutes, it sounded like. And I was, again, completely refreshed. So I was like, no. I want to get everyone home. Let's do it. Switch seats again. It worked.
Wow.
Car full of snacks. We stopped for gas and to pee. We did not stop for meals. We were good. Also, it was nighttime.
But how long did it take?
16 hours.
So it wasn't nighttime the whole time?
No, it was not. We left at 5 and we arrived it was 16 hours later, but I don't know because there was some gas, like, you know, more than 16 hours with the stopping and the gas, and each time's probably 10 minutes. Also,
That's a lot of car time with the kids awake. That's impressive.
We arrived in Florida at 10:30 in the morning, and we got home by 11. But we left later, we left at like 6:30 on the way back. Anyway, these little details possibly no one cares about, but drive went great. And I kind of recommend it because you get to bring a lot of stuff. You don't have to worry about getting to the airport. I don't know, we were on our own time. I guess because it went well, I'm very pro driving now.
Totally. You know, it reminds me of just Mitch pulling over to sleep in a parking lot. Just reminds me that I went on this random weird road trip with my friend Miriam, who you know also. We drove to Kansas, like when we were right out of college, to see the Dave Matthews Band. Mm-hmm. And we also like didn't really plan we were like, we'll stop in hotels wherever, like the open road, whatever, you know? And there was one night we were just like so exhausted and we didn't want to pay for a hotel. So we just like pulled into like a trucker stop and
my God, that's terrifying.
Parked the car and slept.
Okay, but trucker stops, I mean, like, you don't listen to as much true crime as me, but that is scary.
Well, I'm telling you, like, back then, that's one of those things that I look back and I'm just like, oh my God, like, my parents didn't even know where I was. Like, this is before cell phone, like, there were cell phones, but there weren't smartphones. Like, I was like, I'm going on a road trip, bye. And they were like, okay, call us, like, from your destinations.
But, like,
truck stop, like, we could have been easily just murdered in our sleeps.
Yeah, a couple things would happen at first. It's a horrible situation. It's a horrible situation.
I'm just saying this is before true crime podcast also, so we weren't aware, we were blissfully ignorant.
Of course. It's like why I would never go on a cruise again. I listened to this one podcast about a woman missing from a cruise. I just can't.
Oh, well, there's a lot of potential horror with a cruise. Have you been on cruises?
Yes, one when I was 16.
How was it fun?
It was fun, but it's done. Also, when COVID started and it was like you see all the cases in the country and it was like 12, 14, 17 in the country and then the random cruise.
Yeah. They screwed everyone over, yeah.
Once I saw that cruise and the numbers going up, I was like, well, that's it for me.
That was the final nail in the coffin.
Between the true crime podcast with that woman that's probably being trafficked in the Bahamas somewhere and then the COVID numbers. No. I had a third situation also that turned me off of a cruise. Do you want to hear?
Sure.
We're season tickets holders of the Knicks. We're like Knicks season ticket holders. And so having season tickets gives you all these random perks like family events and like come meet the players and do all this stuff. So we sell all the tickets and don't go to any of the games, but sometimes we go to these fun events. Okay. One of the events was a day on a Royal Caribbean cruise before it docked with Knicks players. But have you ever been in a situation where you think it's going to be fun, but actually you are sort of like it's like a timeshare situation when they're trying to sell you a timeshare, but you think you're going for a breakfast. Like, we thought we were just going to meet Knicks players and hang out on the cruise, but they were taking us on a tour, holding us hostage on a Royal Caribbean cruise.
Oh, trying to get you to book a cruise.
Trying to get us to book a cruise.
That's such a pain.
Really bad. And also the food and the
wait,
drinks.
were you with the
and
kids?
Things. Yeah, just Binny. It was before Jonah was born.
Yeah,
she was under 2. There was a stroller involved and a diaper bag.
Oh my God.
It was such a horrible day. And the food and drinks, which they were this was the cream of the crop. Like, they were bringing everything. These are the Knicks season ticket holders. Here's the buffet. No, disgusting. I was like, I couldn't do this for a week because it hadn't changed since I went when I was 16 in 2000.
That's
like,
how I imagine. I imagine the cruises are like a weird time warp.
It is a time warp. The ugly carpets and like I can't like the cocktails were like Knicks colored to be kitschy, and that disgusts me. You know, food coloring cocktails. It just disgusts. Like
how
Jello.
Can they do that? That's so out of touch. Like that's a time warp. It's so weird.
That's a time warp. Shot glasses of like Jello that are Knicks colors with like a whipped cream thing on top. I'm just disgusted by that kind of time warp food.
Yes, if you're not under 5 years old, you can't be serving that.
You know what? I'm really glad I told you all 3 reasons I'm turned off of cruises, because I needed to get that off my chest.
Totally. And I also just feel like there's been so many cruise horror stories, like the cruise where everyone gets like the norovirus and when they're quarantined on the cruise ship together.
Horrible.
Like,
by the way, I have a fourth. Auntie S, listener of the cruise family. I mean, listener of the pod.
Yeah.
Big listener of the pod. Big contributor.
Yes.
Got some syndrome after being on a cruise where she like basically still feels like she's spinning.
Oh no.
Years
like
ago.
Vertigo type thing?
Yes, something like that. It's like called debarking syndrome or something. Sorry if people know what it's called and I'm butchering the name. It's like cruise ship debarking syndrome, where you still feel like you're like rocking on. She's like permanently feeling like that.
The syndrome is called cruise disembarking syndrome? No.
Something like that, yes. Please. Can we get a fact check from William? I'm not making this up. It's a horrible thing, and she suffers. I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at the term.
It's just crazy, but there's a whole industry.
Fourth reason.
Yeah. If there's a syndrome, like, can it really be, so enjoyable, like marketable if there's lifelong syndromes as a result?
Lifelong syndromes. Like, you know how, like, the ads for,
medicine.
medications?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like, this is a risk of getting on this cruise. Disgusting
They should be required
food,
to have that on the cruise
and you could be dizzy for the
ads.
rest of your life. Yes.
Oh, my God.
Horrible. Okay, also, they ate so much salmon on that trip because salmon's easy to have kosher on a ship. That she just recently started eating salmon again, and it's been like years. She told us
really
for Pesach.
funny.
I want everyone to know I'm recently eating salmon again.
Wow, it's like an announcement worthy.
Yes.
It's like when I was a kid, all the bat mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs had Chinese food, like for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's just like a cheap catering option or whatever. But I feel like I literally didn't eat egg rolls then for like the next 10 years. I just I gorged myself with so many egg rolls that year. It was like every weekend was egg rolls. And then I was just like, I can never eat an egg roll again.
Are you back? Can you now?
Yeah, but it's been,
I'd
30
love an egg
years.
Roll.
Yeah, egg rolls.
I'd love an egg roll.
Yeah.
Okay, how was Pesach? I can't wait to tell you about mine.
Oh, great. I mean, it was really nice because we were in Brooklyn and we hosted a little Seder in our apartment for the first time ever. I've always been very daunted by hosting a Seder. I don't know why. It feels like something that like the real grown-ups do.
Yeah.
I guess because just like our parents did it for so long, or my mom. Like I was always like, you go to like the family for a Seder. You don't do the Seder. I still feel like I'm the kid. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
of course I do.
And it just feels like there's so much stuff to prepare. Like I just don't want to. I don't want to. It feels like too much, and you're cleaning on top of that. But then we were like the second Seder. We were like invited to we were gonna go to the rabbi's house, but like the Seder starts at 9 p.m. there.
I know, ours starts at like 10 because the second day's even later.
And it's like, if you're at your own house or someplace where you're staying, then your kids can just kind of drift off. But you're at someone else, especially the rabbi, it's kind of like a little bit of a hostage situation.
Yes. By the way, trigger warning, I'm sorry that we keep on mentioning hostage situations between the cruise ship and now this, but
I know.
Can't help it.
I know that's not
Someone told me once, we can't say it anymore, but like, I don't know what else to call it. call it.
You're right. I take it back. It's a, I don't,
You're stuck. You're stuck.
You're stuck.
You're trapped.
You're a little stuck.
You're trapped.
You're not literally trapped like a hostage. You're, socially trapped.
Yes, you're at the rabbi's house. You have a bunch of kids. They're exhausted. What are you going to do?
Right.
They're drooling on your lap.
I was there at that rabbi's house 2 years ago for a Seder, and Julius, who was like an infant, and I had him in what's that seat that like goes up and down, like
the bouncer, the Baby Bjorn bouncer?
Baby Bjorn bouncer. They had one, because they just have so many like kids and grandkids. They just like have a spare Baby Bjorn bouncer.
Yes.
So I just put him in it and he fell asleep and I just pushed the whole thing underneath the Seder table. Like he was just under there.
I love that. I'm so glad he fell asleep.
But anyway, we decided, that was actually great. But you never know. Anyway, so he, this time we were like, let's just stay home and just do our own like low key Seder.
How many did you have? That's so
and then
nice.
so we were just gonna be us, and I was like, I can manage that. And then our friend Aaron, who's a listener of the pod, was here.
Shout out to Aaron.
Was here in New York for the holiday and was also looking for a kid-friendly option for him and Christina, his partner, and their son. And then our friend Daniela was also fresh back from Peru and wanted to join in. So she came.
I heard about her trip.
Oh, did you? Yeah. So did
But
I.
you had a Seder with Daniela? How nice
So
is that?
Daniela came. It was Daniela, Aaron, Christina, Noah, and us.
Oh my
And,
gosh, and how old's Noah? I didn't know they had a baby Mazel Tov.
oh, he's 5.
I didn't know they had a kindergarten age child. Mazel Tov. I met an
Yeah.
older kid of his once.
He has 2 older kids, girls who live
Yeah.
in New York.
Yeah.
But they're like in high school now. But yeah, he has a 5-year-old, really super cute, Noah, and they were here for Pesach, for the whole Pesach, and yeah, our Seder ended when the Rabbi Seder was beginning, basically.
That is sweet. I am envious of that. That's part of why I'm trying to convince you to come to Orlando. Our Seders are so long that Vinny didn't make either. And to be honest, I didn't really either. I fell asleep. They start very late because there's davening. You can't start preparing. And then the second night is even later. I don't understand why, but something with the holiday ending and then davening starts after that. And then they come home. Then you can't start to prepare. So you can't even like set the table. I don't know what. Heat the food. It doesn't matter about heating the food because the food doesn't come out till 12:31 anyway.
Right.
I came downstairs in pajamas because Jonah in the middle of the night woke up and wanted milk. And when I went downstairs to get him something, they were just like, I just see them starting to eat. And then they have the whole second half or last 75% of the Seder, however long is at the end. And they're not done till 2:33 in the morning.
Wait, who is they? Like, who's leading the show?
Well, it's a cacophony of just a mishmash. So at the house in Florida, there's my in-laws. There's Mitch's brother Avi, who's yeshivish and has 7 kids under 6. On the other end of the table are our first cousins, Mitch's first cousin Moshe and Rachel, and their 4 girls. And then there's us in the middle of the table with Mitch's brother, Mitch's sister. We're all sitting in the middle.
Right.
And Mitch's aunt Tanta Selena's there, Binny, Jonah. Oh no, Jonah's been asleep for hours at this point.
Sounds great.
That's who's at this table. Across the street.
Wait, are
full
the
other
7
set of
kids under
family.
6 at the table?
Oh, they're at the table. Oh, they're there. And
Great.
across the street, we have another house of about 40 more family members.
Oh, wow.
Tante Betty, Uncle Av, all the cousins. They're not even at the Seder with us. They're doing too many.
They have their
too
own,
many.
right,
Can't even
right.
80-person Seder. They're
Sure.
actually around the corner was Moshe, Rachel, and their kids for their house, but they came to us for the Seder. So I would say at either end, there's two situations happening.
Okay, so here's my question. Well, first of all, I want to hear how it was in general because
Because I want you to come.
I saw you posted on Instagram that you felt like there could be a reality show set in just like
Yes.
Florida Pesach, which sounds great to me. I would totally tune into that. But I also want to know like because they're like, to me, one of the benefits of doing this is that like I imagine that you're like doing no work. Like all the food, everything is all like prepped, Pesach there for you. Is that accurate?
Okay, there's a way for that to happen.
Okay.
That is not what's happening in this situation.
Okay.
So, okay, I think the goal of the Pesach and Orlando thing, if you're not making it less work, is that the houses are big enough for giant families to be able to be together.
Right, sure.
And there's really no other place that the houses are that big in warm weather and blah, blah, blah.
Do people
So
live
I
in these houses the rest of the year, or they're
no,
just
I
like
think it's an
rental
entire
houses?
vacation. It's like entire vacation communities.
I see.
That's my sense. There's like 6 of them that seems to be this like Pesach in Orlando takeover.
Wow.
And so I think that yes, I think the initial the reason that it's that this specific place is that these houses are big houses, and there's
Okay.
tons of them, and they're big, but they're not on lots of property. They're completely on top of each other. It's like a gated community of house. Each house has a pool, so I think this is very appealing for people who want to have a giant seder with their whole family, but they don't travel on the holiday and blah blah blah. It's like for secular Jews, it's like you go to one family side of the family for one seder, and you drive a couple hours to go to the other. It's not a thing. But if you're
Sure.
all going to stay there, it's 3-day yontif and whatever. Okay. So there is a way where it's like you get a bunch of prepared food or caterers who do this, and then that's what's delivered, and then that's what you heat up. And then people like my father-in-law and other companies will kosher the house for you. So there's definitely ways to make it so that there's like a cleaning person, someone's koshering it for you. Like in the Mint situation, there's like plastics that they like will put over the whole, like they'll set it up for you. So it's like plastics even on the fridge, and second fridges if you need, or chest freezers, all the craziest stuff.
Wow, geez
A
Louise.
kosher grill for the week.
Oh my God.
It is nice to have a barbecue for the week because during, after Yontif, it's like just straight up barbecuing the whole time, which is lovely.
Sounds very nice. Yeah.
So it's definitely the appeal of I'm going to enter a Pesach program and all the work's been done for me, not happening. But
So what is the appeal
alternative,
here?
being able to be together, I think,
I
is the
see.
appeal. It's the
I
same
see.
amount of work, but you're in warm weather and you're all together.
You're together. Got it. Okay.
That, I think, is the appeal. The Pesach program thing, let's say you're in a hotel, you have your kids, you can't leave them in the hotel all night. You're stuck in the hotel room.
Right. Right. No, that I've seen. That's all. I know about these, like the crazy Pesach programs, like the hotel ones.
Right. But then there's like programs within these houses. So you can do a house, but be a part of a program. So there's like food delivered to your house every day, or like a place you go eat. There's some in between.
Sure. Remember that book we read where the girl was like, what does your family feel about going away for Pesach? Remember that was like a pivotal issue in there, like, will we or won't we commit to each other?
Yes, it's like, yes, for sure.
That was a big existential one.
It is really something. There are a lot of people there. I went to the pool one day, and there's a pool in the house, but I like the pool for the whole resort, if that's what you can call it.
Right.
And I went with Jonah, and I had forgotten to ask anyone at the house like Mitch to do sunscreen on my back, and I was with Jonah, so he couldn't do it. Like Binny would just put it on for me, but he couldn't.
Right.
So I saw this woman who was extremely firm looking, and so she seemed safe for me to ask her.
Yeah.
And so I went up to her and I asked her to put sunscreen on my back. And then later we started chatting. And she was the first cousin of our Chabad rabbi here in our town.
Okay.
So she's sitting in the pool with me, a speech therapist from Brooklyn. She's there with her grandkids. That's what she's doing. She's like sitting on the steps with her grandkids who are swimming with floaty things on. I'm in the pool with Jonah. We're talking about work and special ed and speech and all this stuff. Turns out I know her, like her first cousin, their moms are twins.
That's so crazy.
Okay? Their moms are identical twins. So she calls him, but I'm hearing the voice note she leaves him. It's a voice note. It's not
Okay.
voice to text. It's a voice note.
Yeah, they love voice notes.
Yeah. It's like, Avramal, regards from Orlando. It's like, I'm here by the pool with someone who knows you. She says her daughter goes to your classes on Tuesday, and she goes to all the activities with her little ones, and they love it. They love all your activities. And she says our name, and then, but she's like, wait, what'd you say her name was? Like, as she's voice noting it, she's
She's cutting out to
clarifying,
you.
like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
hears all of this. And oh, Binny, yes. She says you'll definitely know who she is. I won't take a picture. Meanwhile, I'm literally in this like cutout bathing suit, like nip slip bathing suit. Like it's like my I won't take a picture, but I think you know who she is. And then, but also this Chabad rabbi loves your dad. He's like a fangirl for your dad.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, also, you can remind him that I'm, the stepdaughter of Arthur Kurzweil. And she's like, oh. And also, she says, you'll definitely know who she is because her mother's married to Arthur Kurzweil. Okay, I think you got the picture. Okay, good yontif. Regards from Orlando.
Amazing.
It was incredible.
See, like that alone makes a show worthwhile to me. Like,
Exactly.
that's a teaser.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much material. Also because like certain people won't go to the pool, right? My brother-in-law's yeshiva, she will not go to the pool.
Yeah.
These chassids at the pool with nothing but the tzitzit, and what are they? Are they different? Are they rebels?
Right. Is
The
it like
people who
it's like a little bit like what happens in Orlando stays in Orlando. Like
Is
there's
it?
sort of
Because
an
it's just a
excuse to
full-
be a little right. I know the community's there, but maybe there's just a little bit more relaxation because everyone's sort of like, I don't know, wilding out. I don't know.
I don't either. Also, like you couldn't bring pool food into this pool area, so there were all these loopholes of how to bring food into the area. Because
Of course.
like you need to bring your Pesach snacks.
Obviously.
Anyway, I ran out of mine. Jonah goes, I'm so hungry. I really didn't want to leave the pool. I held his hand. I walked up to every single frum woman asking for what snacks she had. Also, I don't look like them. I'm not wearing a head covering. I'm not sneeze. So
Sure.
I think they're like, what is happening?
But aren't
it's
there
like,
other
there's
people
many
like you?
people.
Yeah.
I think that if they're people like me, it's because we're in a house with other, like it's like the cousin of another from family. Like
I
there's
see.
no
So
one.
this resort, this like whatever this is, this gated community, it's mostly from people who are there.
The Jews who are there for Pesach are from. The other people are not Jewish people who are probably at the pool. Like, what is happening? Like, what? Have you noticed something about where we are? Like, I'm sure they're so confused. They just booked a Disney trip and they're deciding
Totally,
they wanted
like-
to stay in a house to not be
Right.
stuck in a hotel room.
Right. They're like, where are we?
They're like, where are we?
So
It
funny.
seems like I'm in a shtetl, even though I don't know the word shtetl.
It's so funny because that reminds me of there was this one time like before Sukkot that my mom sent me to like one of these stores like Office Max or something to like laminate like a couple of things that we had made that she wanted to hang up in the sukkah but didn't want them to get
Yes.
ruined.
Yes.
So I brought them in to laminate them and I'm like on the line in Office Max and the person like leans over and goes, "Can I ask you something?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Is it a holiday that involves laminating?" Because I guess all these religious Jews are bringing in sukkah decorations to
hilarious.
laminate. And she's like, is there like a ritual
is
that
amazing.
involves lamination? I thought that
love
was
this.
so funny.
Also, I had never seen a laminated sukkah decoration until I answered an Orthodox person's sukkah.
Oh, right.
Like as
yeah.
a kid, it was just the paper. It was like paper
Yeah, like
chains.
chains. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like some, right,
Yeah.
gourds. Yeah.
cords. Yeah, the laminated stuff I hadn't seen till I grew
Yeah.
up
In
and got more
Passaic, everyone's
exposed.
laminating. Oh, yeah.
Right. Anyway, it was really fun and a
Sounds
lot
great.
of really good material, and I really think that there's a lot there. Definitely a book.
Underutilized in the Jewish romance genre so far.
100%. I saw that there are some like Instagram reels, probably TikToks, even though I'm off TikTok. TikTok's sober almost 2 years now. But there's definitely like people Instagram reeling about this.
About it
In
as a
Pesach in
romantic
Orlando.
location?
No, about Pesach in Orlando as a Jewish phenomenon.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of Pesach in Orlando content now, but not about a romance location. It's really underutilized because it is so, the more specific and wackadoodle, the better. And it's
course.
so specific and
Like
so
that voice
funny.
note. That's what's great. Yeah.
The voice note's amazing. And so I do wonder, I really wonder what I have there. It's like, it does have legs, but really I need someone else to take it on. But it's good. It's some good material.
Well, it's fun to people watch, it sounds like, which is what you did.
Oh, it's fantastic, yeah. And then, did you know that there's a minion next to Cinderella's castle at the Magic Kingdom during Yeshiva week and during Chol HaMoed Pesach?
I
Every
did
single
not know.
day?
No.
Me either. See? Amazing. I have unlimited anecdotes.
Wow.
A daily minion at the Magic Kingdom. Every time I saw a from couple at the Magic Kingdom, I would just go, Chag Sameach.
Love that. See, I love
I was
that.
the Chag Sameach fairy.
Amazing. Yeah, I know. I love the opportunity to just like wish random people Chag Sameach. It's so nice.
Amazing. They were delighted. Also, I think it's interesting because you see there are a lot of from Jews who like Disney and who know the characters and who are super into it.
Sure.
But then you have like my yeshivish nieces and nephews who were sleeping in a room that was Toy Story themed and they didn't know. Like the other room is Encanto themed and they didn't know because they have no exposure to those characters, which I understand. If you're not exposed, you're not exposed.
Sure. Did they
But
go
were
to
like,
Disney
"What?"
World or they didn't go?
No, they don't go. But
Oh,
but the bedrooms, the two bedrooms in the house for the kids, one was Toy Story themed and one was Encanto themed. And the Toy Story themed one sort of looked like a barn. And so my nieces and nephews were like calling it the barn room. And I was like, wait, one room is Encanto themed. The other one's just a barn? That seems unlikely. Like, it seems like it would be something else. Like, go in the room, it's like giant Buzz Lightyear and Woody. And
They
I
had
was like,
no idea.
no, this is a Toy Story themed room.
That's really. Oh, I
They
see.
don't
So
know.
these are really houses that are marketed to Disney goers.
Exactly.
Got it. Got it.
With
I
this
understand.
with this from takeover for this one specific week.
Right. That's fascinating.
Yes.
Right, because there's some from people who are going for Disney World as a huge draw, and some for people who are going and completely oblivious to Disney World.
Completely. It's just like nice big houses, warm weather, the place where everyone's going.
Right.
Easy to get your matzah, your kosher
Yeah.
wine,
It's
your
all a
food, because
package
it's like
deal,
it's all happening.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm like, could we relocate this? Like, this would be cool in Puerto Rico. Could we do this in the Bahamas? But the thing is, like,
But that's a much
not
bigger
really.
deal
Like,
to go international or to go like
and
someplace
also,
we have to fly.
and also, like, and stay where? Like, where else do you find these like giant houses that could sleep these giant families with enough beds, showers, like a private pool? It's really a bizarre phenomenon.
Right. It would be
Orlando.
one of those, you would relocate and just buy into one of those all-inclusive programs.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Right.
Sounds really fun though.
That sounds appealing to me just because it's like no work whatsoever. You just like step out
Exactly.
into it.
I know. Our parents have done it at like Isabella Friedman and that other place, Pearlstone.
We went to Isabella Friedman with them for Passover one year. The year before
A lot of quinoa, I
COVID.
heard.
A lot of
quinoa.
quinoa.
A lot of sweet potatoes.
I mean, which is basically what they have all year round. Frankly, there wasn't such a big difference.
That 100% makes sense.
Yeah, just lots of ferments. You know, it's it's the same as ever.
Also really good setting. Also really good setting for a romance.
Oh yeah. We've talked about that.
Oh
sure.
yeah. Anyway, I see that we've been talking for half hour. We
Oh
haven't even
wow.
gotten to our
Listen,
book.
it's been a while.
I know. We really did have to talk about all this.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's more to say, is the truth, because Jonah Platt's in Eastern Europe right now, just taking these somber selfies.
I was tearing up today looking at his Instagram stories. And I was like, oh my God, I'm legitimately, I have tears in my eyes.
You're moved.
I was moved, Rachel.
He's the voice of our generation. I mean, here's the thing. There was also some drama.
But also, like, he took a picture. Like, he's visiting, it's Yom HaShoah. He's, like, at Auschwitz, or the gates of Auschwitz, or whatever, and it's raining, and he's, like, he has this photo of himself just, like, serious in the rain, and he's like, God is crying with us.
Yeah.
I teared up from that.
So is Malya. And so is Malya. You know who else is crying?
Like, I'm right there
Malya.
with you, Jonah. Like,
I don't mean to laugh. It's
no,
beautiful.
I'm telling
It's
you,
horrible. It's
I'm
sad.
not.
I
I'm
know.
telling you, I teared up. It's the only thing I teared up from on social media the whole day.
Of course. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. And
there's
he
some
is-
drama. You were gonna say yes.
Well, Jonah Platt keeps calling out like Jewish actors for not being advocates or not speaking up.
Yes.
And I have known in my gut, in my kishkas, that something was going on with Ben Platt and the family.
Oh,
'Cause
you knew.
Like we said, their mom, I used to say like, oh, she's the head of UJA on the West Coast. No, I think she's like on the president of the board of all of North America's UJA.
Right. That makes sense.
They are big time when it comes to Israel, when it comes to American Jews. Like,
Sure.
and I just knew. I knew for a bunch of reasons. I knew that because he was silent. I knew because he posted this weird thing that was like, it's better for me to not say anything because I blah blah blah. Like when it first happened. And by it, I mean the Hamas attack.
Yes.
Like he made one post about like staying out of the conversation. Staying out of the conversation, okay. And then Jonah keeps calling out people for staying out of the conversation.
Yes, he
and
does.
then Ben Platt entered the chat with
He
like
did.
kind of a controversial statement.
Yeah.
Because to be silent for almost 2 years and then for the one thing to say is like that he's gutted over the deaths, of all the Palestinians, which by the way, everyone is. It's too much death and dying. But for that to be the only thing you say when you haven't spoken up and to say something about how like you don't really identify with Israel as a part of your Judaism, it's like, are you kidding? What do his
Right.
parents think about this? What's happening at that Pesach table? I bet they're not having a Seder together. I bet it would be too uncomfortable.
Oh wow.
I don't know. I'm really, really speaking out of
Yeah,
turn
no,
now.
I hear you. Yeah, it's like yeah. And where's that third brother? Where's he weighing in?
Henry, I'm sure he's more on the Jonah side of things.
I bet you he is.
I don't know about their sisters too. There's a bunch of sisters too.
Oh, I didn't know there were
There's
more
a
of them.
Hannah.
Oh my
Yeah, there's
God.
more.
Oh, how
There
many
might be more
kids
than
are
just
there?
him.
Wow.
There might be that might be it. There might be
Okay.
more.
Okay.
I don't know. I just wonder what Jonah thinks when he reads that. Meanwhile, he's out there
Listen,
taking his
we all
somber
know
selfies.
what he thinks, but he's not
We
gonna,
know what he thinks.
we know what he thinks. He's not gonna say anything because it's his brother. He's not gonna, I doubt he's gonna engage with him publicly about it.
And the thing is, like, on one hand, it's like, it's important to be able to, like, speak out about how you feel. And it's important to be able to say, like, I stand with Israel, and also, I want this war to end. And like, all the things, like, no one wants innocent people dying, but it's like, he definitely was not advocating or talking about any of, the things that have happened with regard to death of Israelis, hostages, anti-Semitism. It's just like, I definitely think I'm just curious how that went.
I guess I just very cynically, I always wonder with these things when people who are like these people they're performance artists. They have careers based on getting public recognition and turning heads. And I just wonder, like, someone like this who like said they weren't going to enter the conversation, and then here at kind of seemingly a random point, he does enter the conversation. Is this some kind of calculated thing where he's like, I have an album coming out, I have a something, like I want to just like
Yeah, it's like,
get my face, like this is a good time to just
isolate.
get myself some PR about for whatever reason.
Maybe it's like, I think that it's like him and his husband like have the feelings they feel with regard to Israel, Gaza, the war, American Jewry. I don't know, and that I think that he doesn't want to isolate himself from like who he perceives as his community that might feel the way they feel. That's what I think, and I think maybe it could be like in reaction to Jonah going so hard. But I am really speculating, and it's also kind of like a weird cognitive dissonance thing for me, or just like not cognitive dissonance, just like confusing thing where it's like I'm a sincere fan of both of them. Like I really, really love Ben Platt. I love his albums. I love his shows. I love his work. Like I'm a fan of his.
Sure.
I've seen him live multiple times. Like it's like such a weird thing. Like I really, really like. But also I'm like a sincere fan of Jonah and his work.
I mean, who isn't? Who couldn't? Who wouldn't be? Well, who in their
Exactly.
right mind wouldn't be?
Exactly. But yes, I hadn't mentioned his somber selfies in Germany right now in Eastern Europe because they are just...
They're epic.
They are.
They really I keep thinking it can't get better, and then it does.
And then it does.
Literally.
There's also something about, like, I honestly, like, I cannot imagine taking a selfie at a concentration camp or, like, taking a selfie at a monument. Like, there was a place he was at that like each statue or monument represented like an entire shtetl city or town.
Yes, I saw that.
And it was like he was like standing in the center of all these monuments. And he was like, each one of these represents.
Yes.
And I'm just like, it just takes a certain kind of person to even be able to like turn that camera on and face, but it's like it's important.
He has a singular focus here. You know what I mean? Like he's got his eye on the prize, which is like he has an audience, he has to serve it up.
Yeah, and I appreciate it.
He has me sitting at my desk on my lunch break, and he's got to make me feel something, and he's mindful of that.
He is.
Yeah.
Honestly, his parents should be proud. I know I say it every week, but
I'm sure they are. The dad was just on this podcast.
Adorable. Mm-hmm. Really amazing. Plus, he'll be back on ours one day. He will.
Obviously.
Yeah. There was another crossover I was very excited about, which is that I have mentioned Chelsea Devantez to you, who used to be the host of Celebrity Book Club, which like a little bit inspired me wanting to start this, but then it became another podcast called Glamorous Trash. And anyway, she recently reviewed the autobiography or the memoir of Danielle Steele, and guess who her guest was? Sarah Wendell, who also inspired. So I was like, this is an interesting crossing of two worlds, because two people who inspired me have now found each other and we're on each other's podcasts. I thought that was cool.
Sweet.
Anything else you want to catch up on before we start talking about? I have one last thing to tell you, though.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, Sarah, listener of the podcast, someone I work with, was having a challah baking event tonight at her house.
Nice.
And to make it fun, inspired by our podcast, she had some sort of like seltzer contest.
No, love that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I don't know if it was like make your own flavor or bring an interesting flavor. Like, I don't know what the competition was. Because it was take your daughter to work day. And when she told me this morning, I was like a little bit distracted by Binny being with me at work. But there was a seltzer competition as a part of her challah baking event tonight inspired by our podcast. And I thought that's very cool.
I wonder what the competition element was, but that's great.
I know. Got to find out. I'll tell you next time. Any new interesting flavors before we move on?
No, I feel like our seltzer exploration was a little bit stymied by Passover.
You get those bowl and basket bottles?
We just got those same Adirondack ones that we always get. We've gotten the bowl and basket. We get those because that's the shop. Bowl and basket is ShopRite brand.
ShopRite.
So we get those when we go down to South New Jersey because there's that big ShopRite we love. Those are great.
Yeah,
the grapefruit one is really good.
Yep, we had the grapefruit this Pesach.
I'm a fan of anything grapefruit. Oh, blackberry, that sounds good. Oh, and
Very
Daniela,
delicious.
of course, is who was our guest at the Seder, is famous on this podcast for being the singer and songwriter behind Seltzer Emergency. A song that William often drops during these seltzer conversations.
That is true.
And she drank
Sounds
seltzer
like Daniela
with
had
us
a
at the Seder.
powerful trip.
Oh
I'm
my
so
God,
jealous
yeah.
that you got to see her at the Seder, that you got to see each other. That sounds like it was so nice.
Oh, it was really nice. And it was like she was literally like just off the plane. So she was fresh off her inspirational spiritual journey in Peru.
Daniela definitely uses like a bunch of spiritual terms. I do not know what they are when referring to like terms. Like it's like real language that I don't know what she's saying.
Oh, she did it at the Seder too. Like but she says it like everyone would know. Like everyone just uses these terms in casual conversation.
They must in her circle. They do in her circle.
Right. But I'm like, okay. And then I try to say them back to her like I understand. I basically get it from the context, and then I try to like.
Of course, you're very smart.
Just weave it back in. Okay. And she'll be like, so just like that's just what their soul contract is, and I'm like, yeah, and I don't know. I don't love chocolate. It's just part of my soul contract. It's just,
Amazing.
I try to weave it back in.
I'd love to have her on.
Yeah. I think she would want to be on. Oh, right. William,
doesn't want to read the book.
William, this was so cute. One of our ongoing things that we discuss that we love to do on this podcast is scavenge Park Slope freebies.
Yes.
So we had and I always say that William, has been in this neighborhood and in our apartment and been doing this for so long that now, he's basically, his mind and the garbage of Park Slope have become one, where, if he's thinking something or whatever, it appears just in our radius. And so,
oh my God, amazing.
Literally, the day before Pesach started, Daniela messaged, I want to come for the Seder too. Aaron said he's going to be there. I was like, yes, please come. That would be great. William, goes out to pick up the kids from somewhere, comes back, and has a souvenir Peru shot glass.
What?
That he just found, down the block. And he's like, look, I got a hospitality gift for Daniela. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And it was so cute. It had, a little Peruvian person on it. It was just really cute. And then when Daniela arrived, William, kind of proudly offers her this gift, and Daniela's like, has it been kosher for Pesach?
No.
And we were like, oh, shoot, no. And she kind of, put it to the side.
Wow, Daniela is not having a drink out of a untoveled.
Yeah, had to be toveled.
Wow.
In our excitement about finding it, we neglected the toveling.
Amazing. Wow. Good for her. Really keeping that
dismissed.
Pesach.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I obviously am in the house. I'm in non-Gabruk's house.
Oh, it's non-Gabruk's.
Yes. We discussed that last year. Yes, it's non-Gabruk's. I'm going to remind you that means for our listeners, no wet matzah, no matzah balls, no matzah pizza, no matzah lasagna. And it's, I could eat it in the house, like I said, but it's not good. Yeah, I did something embarrassing, actually, which was that there was these, about these potato starch matzo balls? You know about this?
No.
Fake matzo balls?
No.
There's fake matzo balls for non-Gebrauchs homes.
Oh, they're made of potato
And
starch.
they
Huh.
are
Did not know.
inedible.
Yeah, gross.
And at our Shabbat meal or Yontif meal during the second days, everyone was talking so loudly. There's like 30 people around the table. I wouldn't have thought anyone would have heard this or gotten silent, but I took a bite out of a fake matzo ball. And then I go, oh my God, did you try this? Loudly.
I would totally
And
do something like that. That's so
The
funny.
room went silent. I couldn't make even eye contact with anyone on the cooking side of things.
That's funny.
And the meal was actually delicious. So the rest of the meal was like, oh my God, these are all my favorite foods. Everything's so good.
Of course.
When I went up to bed, I was like, thank you so much. Everything was so good. And they're like, everything but that matzo ball. Meanwhile, it was like frozen on the inside. It was like vile and cold.
Of course.
It was inedible. It was not food. It was not food. And it's not, and then I was like, that's not her fault. That's not my mother-in-law's fault that she's in a non-Gebrauchs home. It's like saying, here's sand, make a matzo ball. Here's
of course.
potato
What's she gonna
starch.
do?
That's not her
Right.
fault. You
No,
can't
no,
make
no.
it good.
No,
It's not
of course.
matzo ball. It's not matzo meal.
Right. Well, maybe dispense
not
with the
her-
matzo balls altogether, but that would be my
Of
thought.
course, no matzo balls. There should be no matzo
You know,
balls.
just give it up. But
For sure.
I know it's so funny because we went to the rabbi's house, and Chabad in general, they don't eat gebrauchs, and they have a lot of additional rules about like you can only eat vegetables that have been the outside layer has to be removed. There's a lot of things.
You told us about this once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, but they're
I didn't know about it.
they're big into non-gebrauchs, and so at the meal they serve the matzah in bags, and the rabbi makes an announcement like, please eat your matzah over the bag so that nothing, like no chance
I
stray
understand, so you can't
crumb
get
of
grape
matzah.
juice in the matzah crumb. I know,
Exactly.
like grape juice. I know.
And I'm watching, and it's a big meal, and it's a lot of people who like don't necessarily understand sort of like the implication of that. So I see people are like spreading the like guacamole on the matzah, spreading that, and I'm like cringing, like
Cringing.
Gebrauchs.
Cringe.
No, because I see the rabbi is like in turmoil, like watching this
course.
moisture being put on the matzah, but he's not
No.
going to like call out his guest, like he's
Of course. It's the opposite of what he'll do.
of course, but like I was just like, oh my God, like what are they doing?
What are they doing? They don't know. They're making it yummy.
Oh, and then also like in the middle of sorry, we have to move on to the book. This is ridiculous.
No,
but-
we don't. This is way better. Honestly, the book wasn't that great, and everyone's going to be loving this. We're good. It's 45 minutes. I'm ready to just wrap it up. Keep going.
Just the one final thing I'll say that's funny is that we our shower was leaking, and so on Chol HaMoed, the building sent like the repair person to fix the shower, and he had to shut off the main valve in the apartment, which is behind our refrigerator. And so we pulled out the refrigerator, and I was at work. It was Chol HaMoed, and William wrote to me, he's like, plumber just pulled out the refrigerator. There's an extra pound of chametz behind it.
No.
Like there was like, I don't even know what it was. I wasn't home, but there were like, I imagine just like crumbs, Cheerios. He's saying tons of Cheerios. Just like, I was like, okay, well,
We sold it. It's
we
not
sold
ours,
it all.
baby.
It's not ours. Somebody else left a lot of Cheerios here.
Okay, I have a couple more, by the way. I do have an idea that maybe this should be a Pesach recap episode, and then the next one should be the book, but I don't think we've that much to talk about with the book, so I'm just going to keep going.
Great.
Couple more things.
Yeah,
One,
please.
the pool was like walking distance to the house, but there's a lazy river, and we had a lot of pool floats because of this closeout store that I feel like is a separate conversation I need to tell you about that my sister-in-law found called Crazy Hot Buys, where like Monday's $16 day, and then Tuesday's $10 day, and there's like hundreds of thousands of Target returns items at this store, and on like $2 or $3 days, she got all these pool floats. I will tell you more about Crazy Hot Buys at another time. It sounds insane.
Okay.
Anyway, so the point of that whole story was to say that Mitch drove to the pool because he had all these pool floats in the car for the whole family.
Right.
So
Okay.
instead of everyone schlepping him, he drove. So we had my niece, my yeshivish, very from Beis Yaakov, Baltimore niece in the back seat. And in the back seat of the car were all of our car snacks from driving down, which is just a bag of chametz, okay?
Yes.
And she gets in the back seat, and Binny's like, oh, a snack. And like opens the bag. I'm like, Binny, put that down. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, put that down, have a snack at Bubby's, just put it down. And she's like, what is that, chametz? And Mom's like, don't worry about our snacks. And she's like, I guess you gotta burn it. I was like, don't worry about our snacks, please. Just don't worry about our snacks. She's like, I'm going to tell Tati, we have to burn it right now. We got to burn it right now. I'm
Oh my
Carol,
God.
just stop talking about our snacks. Just don't worry about our snacks. You don't have to worry about it. These are our snacks in our car. You don't have to worry about these. Just don't worry about these. She's like, I guess we got to burn it right now. Got to go get Tati. We got to burn it.
Aw.
So that was one thing. And then the other thing I wanted to tell you about was the WhatsApp group for the Pesach and Orlando communities is also very funny.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's amazing.
So there's like a general one. This is like your Bruria group, but like extreme.
Yeah, like yeah, totally.
And then there's the individual for each group. So let's say you're staying where we're staying, or you're staying at another one. Like each one has its own and
Each
probably
little gated
multiple
community.
within it. Exactly.
Got it.
But then there's like probably giant one with 20,000 people, and then
Yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah.
smaller ones. But because people are buying things and then they're traveling back mostly to New York, they end up having extra food or needing food that they will ask each other if they have.
Sure.
So at the very end, we were out of milk. And I'd be happy to just pick up a new milk at the supermarket, but like it's like Chalav Yisrael, and it has to be like, there's a specific thing with milk where you have to have bought it in advance. I don't exactly know the milk situation.
Oh, I don't
There's
know.
a specific milk situation that they're holding by. I don't really know what it is.
Okay.
All I know is my father and Jonah like really loves milk and really needed more milk. So my father-in-law, this is right before Shabbos, put in the WhatsApp group like, does anyone have more milk? And this Lubavitcher woman was like, the blue kind or the red kind? And I like look and like the 1%'s the blue kind, and that's one's whole milk and one's low fat. And I was like, tell her the blue kind. And then
Why would she say the
Jonah
blue
is-
kind and not 1%?
It's just so I don't know. It's just so specific and funny to me. And I was like, the blue kind, and my father was like, she's talking about the cap. I was like, how do you all know this? Okay. She was talking about the blue cap on the Chalav Yisrael milk, which she was. It was blue. And then Jonah
But there's more than
starts
one
losing
brand
his...
of Chalav Yisrael milk. They all have a blue cap?
No clue. I have
Okay.
no idea. All
Okay.
I know is then Jonah starts randomly being like, I want sprinkle cookies. I want sprinkle cookies. I think he was talking about these like Pesach kind of like sticks that my sister-in-law had made.
Okay.
They were like Pesach sprinkle cookies, basically. And we were out. And I was like, there's no sprinkle cookies, but I'm like, there might be sprinkles in the house. Maybe I can make you sprinkle cookies. I see there's sprinkles in the house. There's almond flour. There's potato starch. I can't quite see if I could like pull it together. I'm not like looking up recipes. I'm not really like sure if I'm going to make anything that's edible at all. It seems disgusting. Even the sprinkles look disgusting. And so I asked my father-in-law to put in the chat, does anyone have sprinkle cookies? He has a typo. He writes sprinkler cookies, but it doesn't matter because the Lubavitcher woman with the blue milk
Yeah.
was like, I have sandwich cookies. Great. Not sprinkle, but that'll be great.
Sure.
And my father-in-law goes to her house in Orlando. I mean, it's like probably 1 minute away around the corner where we were staying.
Right.
Gets 2 frozen blue cap milks wrapped in plastic
Wow.
and an entire package of non-Gebrux Lubavitch
Sandwich cookies.
sandwich cookies.
What are those kosher for Pesach sandwich cookies? Like, what is that?
It was almost like an Oreo situation, like maybe one brown, one white cream in the center.
What's it made
I mean,
out of? Like
that-
tapioca, that stuff? It's all like,
Possibly, yeah,
yeah.
that sounds like that. It sounds like just
wow.
garbage, and everyone ate them within a second. That whole package was gone, and I was
Sure.
just like, this WhatsApp group is a gold mine. I'm sure if I was on that WhatsApp group, there would be even more material to chat about.
Oh, you're not even on the group. This is all right. It's through
No, I
your
just asked
father-in-law.
my father-in-law to put it on. Yeah, I'm not even
Wow.
in it. I just hear about
Oh,
it.
I would love to join that group. That sounds amazing.
Me too. I know.
Can I get into the group without going to Orlando and just be a fly on the wall? Because honestly, that's all I want.
I'm sure we could do that. Yeah.
It sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it sounds good. Anyway, TLDR, I think you'd have a great time. I think the kids would have fun. But the other reason I think people choose there is because obviously the size of the houses, I think, is the biggest draw. But also then there's things to do over Chol Hamoed if you're the kind of person who would maybe want to go to a theme park or whatever. There's things to do. I'd rather be near a beach for the thing to do. I'd rather not have to go to theme parks every year. But because I'm there, I end up taking my kids. I don't want to be a Disney every year family, but I am.
Sure. I mean, if you're right there. Also, didn't
I'm
they?
there.
I was. My boss is in Orlando for a conference, and she said she was taking her kids to the new Universal Studios park,
Like the Harry Potter one?
the Harry Potter one, but it also has like a Nintendo area apparently,
Ooh.
which sounds fun.
Ooh. Yeah, we're gonna wait. We're waiting to do that till the kids are a drop older. But I'm excited for that year of Pesach.
That makes
That'll be
sense.
fun. There's also Peppa World right now in Orlando, which sounds fun for people who like Peppa Pig.
Right.
We're not a family who's so into Peppa Pig, but I almost am like, watch a bunch of Peppa Pig. Let me get tickets to that park. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of things to do, and people like that.
I get it.
Legolands.
Great.
Anyway, that's my pitch.
I did want to make
And you asked-
I did want to share something regarding the creative life of our producer William Levin, which is that
Please.
William is our very talented producer, and also he has just released the last 7 episodes of an animation. He's an animator, and he's released the last 7 episodes of an animation that he's been working on for the last 10 years. He did the first 7 when Sammy was a baby, so that's like almost a full 10 years ago. And it's a series called Growing Community. It's about a middle-aged Jewish guy who decides to his tech career is going slowly, so he decides to start growing weed in his apartment, and he has a very cute, sarcastic wife. Completely fictional story. I have several cameo appearances as a voiceover. I do not do the voice of the wife. That is a professional actress, and our next door neighbor, Meredith Schorr, who's very talented. But he did the last 7 episodes for Brick Arts Media, and they hired him to finally finish the series. It got abruptly cut off 10 years ago, so he did the first 7, and now the season is complete with the last 7.
That is so cool.
Growing Community.
Growing Community, where can we find it?
We can find it on YouTube. Brick TV, BRIC TV. If you follow them.
So cool.
It's there. It's
That's awesome.
very cute and funny.
I can't wait to watch.
Yeah.
And our listeners are excited too.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for that plug.
Sure.
I'm sure I have more to tell you, but for this week's episode, we read As Seen on TV by Meredith Schorr.
We did.
And I had heard about this book, and I heard about Meredith Schorr for a long time. And I thought, let's go for it.
Right.
It took us a while even to read a Gene Meltzer book, There's these Jewish authors. Let's check it out. It was totally different than I was expecting.
Oh, in what way?
Well, because, okay, so this, how would you describe it? It's like city girl has an opportunity to go to a small town, but she's like Hallmark movie obsessed. So she goes to this small town thinking it's going to be like a Hallmark movie.
And her whole thing is
And
that
it's
she's
not.
pitched an article to write about this Hallmark-esque small town, but then she goes there and it's just kind of like a shitty small town.
It's a shitty small town. It's not Hallmarky at all.
Right.
And she needs it to be for the article
to work. Right.
Right. But also, she's not even getting paid to do it. So she's, spending her own money.
Right, but it's like if she does a great job, she's going to get hired as a staff writer for some, internet-only
Yeah,
culture magazine or something.
Gawker, like a Gawker.
It's like a
type thing.
gawker, right, exactly.
I liked the New York, she lives with her mom in New York.
Right.
A lot of things are called Gilmore Girlsy, and this is one of them because her and the mom.
Right.
Did you watch Gilmore Girls?
I didn't watch, the whole thing, but I've watched enough. I get it.
It's I've also, seen enough to get it, but I have never watched Gilmore Girls. And I feel like it's I'm missing. I think I need to, but it's too long. I can't.
It's a lot. That's a big commitment to get into
And the
Gilmore Girls
shows then
now.
were slower paced. We have different brains now. They were slower paced.
They were. The one thing I remember about Gilmore Girls that always turned me off, although I think it's actually what a lot of people liked about it, is how quick and constant the banter was.
Oh, so maybe it's not slow paced.
It was the daughter and the mom had a banter that was every line was a zinger, and it was always they were throwing them at each other as they were walking out the door. It was and it was to me it felt like this is not a realistic dynamic that I can relate to. Nobody speaks like this. And I felt like to me, it was a little unappealing, but I actually think that's what most people like about it.
Yes. It's referred to in this, that some of the reviews are referred to Gilmore Girlsy in this way.
Yes. I didn't think
now I understand.
It didn't, the mom and daughter in this book had a sweet relationship. So I guess it was it in that way, close, very close, but they didn't have that.
But it wasn't bada bingy.
It was not bada bingy. They were over the top bada bingy. I don't know who has the energy for that. It's exhausting.
Right. So she gets to this small town. I mean, it's a dud. She's staying at this B&B, this bed and breakfast.
Right.
I like that she's a spin instructor, but then there's not part of her identity at all.
Right. It was sort of right. It was like,
Like, because I'm like a spin, like I'm so into spin instructors because I enjoy the Peloton app. So like spin instructors for me are like mini celebrities.
right. It's a whole persona.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's like for me, it's almost like a missed opportunity. Like there, you can really dive into that.
Right. They didn't really, in the very end they did, but it had spin in
Right.
it, but they didn't really like go into the world of spinning at all.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But it's like, that's cool that she was a spin instructor. Okay. She was not doing much working out while she was there.
No, she was
A
like
little
eating
running,
a lot
little
of
running.
a lot of like shitty small town fast food.
Yeah, she was. It's like, I don't know, like, was it supposed to be a little like Schitt's Creek? Did you watch Schitt's Creek?
No, I don't know anything about Schitt's Creek. Like I don't know
think
what
you-
that is. I know it's a show.
Also, I could tell that you also don't know the show White Lotus because you thought that my post was about a reality show, but White Lotus is a scripted show.
I do. I watched season 1 of White
Okay.
Lotus. So I
Okay.
understand White Lotus. I
Okay,
forgot. I think I
okay.
might have just forgotten that
Yes.
you said White
Yes,
Lotus, but I
yes,
understand. I haven't
Yes,
watched
okay.
2 and 3
But
though.
Schitt's Creek you don't know about.
Schitt's
think
Creek
you
I
and
don't know
William might
one
like
thing
it.
about. What is it?
I do think you might like the show. It is a show about a very, very, very rich family. Like I think they're maybe based in LA. A mom, a dad, and a son and a daughter who maybe the mom's an actress, like a celebrity, and they're super loaded. And like the show starts where they're just like the IRS is like clearing out their whole home. They have completely gone bankrupt, and they move to some small town, like tiny town population of like nothing.
Oh, wow.
And they like move into this motel and just like create their whole life there. It's a funny show.
That sounds good.
Stan and Eugene Levy.
Oh, cool.
It's a funny show. It's there, and Catherine O'Hara. It's very good. Anyway, this was a little bit of that, but it's more that she wanted it to be like she wanted the people at the diner to like be her friends, and like she wanted the like refrigerator desserts at the diner to be like the delicious ones in the other book we read, the Shira Dicker book, but instead they were like shipped from some other, like
yeah. They were
it's
like
like
Entenmann's
everything
boxes. Yeah.
exactly.
The thing about this book is like, you know how you've pointed out repeatedly, and this like the cute detail where a character there'll be a nod to that the character in the romance novel like reads romance novels, or like
Yes.
this is like that to the nth degree. It's like a whole book, a romance novel about a girl trying to be in a romance novel, but it's a
Yes,
romance movie.
Her obsession with Hallmark movies and referencing Hallmark movies
It's constant. That's the whole book.
constant and unlike anything. Like her knowledge, she has an encyclopedic knowledge of Hallmark movies.
Yes.
Where it's like, so and so. At one point, someone's like, "Well, I met my partner because funny enough, like he was a divorce lawyer, and that sounds like it could be a movie." She's like, "It is a movie. It's called Till Death Do Us Part." Or like whatever. Like,
Stars blah blah blah. Lacey Chabert or whatever. Like
yeah. No, she did have encyclopedic knowledge of Hallmark movies, and also again, it's like when I always say it's like they're often writers, they're often readers. Like
Sure,
she
it
was
makes
a
sense.
writer.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I get it. It's why we read so many of these books. But so there's a romance.
Right?
It's steamy. There's major attraction there, I would say.
There's
but like
there's a few
were
sex
you
scenes that are pretty, full on.
full on. There's full on sex.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, like with him, it's like we thought. I thought he was going to end up being the bad guy, like out of like a villain out of one of these Hallmark movies.
Right?
Like he ends up, but he was he wasn't. I think this might be another situation where there's almost no problem.
Yeah. Right. Like
The problem they're hooking up. It's going well.
right.
They're really into each other. He's very into her.
Very into her. They have chemistry.
They have chemistry. It's going
They're
well.
hanging
They
out.
definitely have banter. They're the bantery couple of this. They're bantery.
Yeah. But it's always playful. It's not like an enemies to lovers thing.
No, not at all. They like each other. They're into it. And then her friend sees that he still has like an active dating profile, or that his dating profile says like not looking for anything long term.
Yes.
Like, her friend calls like crisis mode.
Yes.
He's not looking for anything long term. She's gutted, but also sort of knew
Right.
that it was a small town fling.
Right.
Although they were both city people and having a small town fling, so I think she thought it could have legs back in the city.
She thought it could, but she also was very like, city men never want to commit. That's why I need a small town. It was, again, her just like idealizing small town life. Like all the men there just
Right.
want to settle down as opposed to the city.
Right. But anyway, it turns out he's super into her. He has had ex-girlfriends. And the reason that he doesn't want to commit is because he has a like extremely sick alcoholic father.
Yes.
Sick with alcoholism is what I mean.
Yes. Who he's like the only person who like hasn't cut his dad out of his life.
Right. And this takes hundreds of pages to unfold.
Yes.
And if I'm missing other key points, rewind.
I
But
don't
the thing is,
I don't-
like, the scene's hard. Like, she ends up meeting the dad. He's horrible. She's horrified. She feels it's unforgivable. That's exactly what he thought was going to happen to begin with.
Yes. They break up. And
But
then
it's like, it is horrible if someone, but like, he wasn't defending her, and she was like, how could you have put me in that situation? But it's like, this is why he said he didn't want anything in the first place.
right. Cuz
He
it's
knows
like
it's horrible.
yes.
He knows He knows it's horrible. He knows it's a deal breaker. It's not like he doesn't want a life partner or to be in a committed relationship with someone he thinks is cool, funny, and sexy. He wants all those things.
Right.
He just feels like he can't have it because of this monster in his life who happens to be his dad. So it's sad. So then when the thing that he's afraid of happening happens, I'm like, of course it happens.
Right, he literally just told you it was going to happen like 5 days ago.
Yeah, and then it happens. And instead of being like, that was horrible, that's what you said was going to happen, she's like, how could you have let that happen? I can't be in this relationship.
Right. Right. And again, like there's a lot of words to try to make this sound like a plausible conflict, but it just it didn't make it for me.
Right. I get putting someone in a horrible situation with like a horrendous family member it's a terrible situation.
Of course.
It's terrible. It doesn't feel good. It's crazy making. You're scared. I'm sure there's all sorts. It's not good. It's horrible.
Right.
But it's not like it was unexpected.
Right. And her whole thing was like that the dad was like a mean drunk and he was like being really mean to her and that the boyfriend wasn't defending her. But it's just like, come on. Like, that feels so immature and silly to me. Like, you're not literally in a Hallmark movie. Like it's a sick person who's being, and you're trying
It's a
to.
sick, blacked out, mean, crazy pants psycho who has no one in their life but this one person who he barely has in his life. I know we're reading into it. It's like we're being insane. This is just like a silly rom-com. I don't know why I'm taking this so seriously.
Because it kind of
but
gets
because
in the
it was like the
way of-
only conflict. Yes.
Yeah. I liked them as a couple. I thought they were cute.
I did too.
I feel like
really liked them.
I wonder if the book would have been enough if the conflict had just been like her trying to figure out how to write a story, given that the town wasn't what she thought it was. Like, and then their relationship just grew. Like, would that have been enough of a book, or like that's not really a book?
Right. Like, are there books where it's just like maybe they're short novellas, and maybe those novellas are focused on like the sex part?
I feel like this could have been that because the sex scenes were pretty good.
Definitely. He was cute. They were very attracted to each
He
other
was
and
cute.
attractive.
They were attractive.
They were having great sex.
I was into reading about them. I liked it.
They were having great time together.
Great time together. It was described well. She like had some sexual hang-ups. He helped her get over them. Right?
Yeah, it was great. It was good. Yeah, I liked all that. Also, like Jewish rep wise,
Right. Pretty
she's
thin.
Jewish.
Right.
I feel like Jean Meltzer was sort of like saying, it's like a book isn't book if the person just had a bat mitzvah. A book isn't Jewish if a person just had a bat mitzvah kind of thing. And like this did have like there was a Rosh Hashanah meal.
Yeah.
There might have been some other holidays. Definitely a bat mitzvah was tossed out there. But I just think I'm in a different place than that Jean Meltzer thing. It's like for me, it's like this was a character who was Jewish. She didn't want to write this book as someone who wasn't Jewish. Like she was Jewish. She
Right.
grew up as a Jewish New Yorker, eating the treif she was eating, had her bat mitzvah. She mentioned Hebrew school. There was a bunch of references to things that made her a part of who she was, made her who she was. So I think for me it's Jewish enough to be considered.
Of course.
a Jewish romance, but it was definitely light. There wasn't like ritual or Jewish values or concepts or really anything.
And I
Right?
also feel like, totally agree with you. And I also feel like now I'm at the point where I've read enough of these where I feel like in those types of books where it's that type of thing, where it's Jewish representation, but it's pretty light, there's always that moment where the character has to somehow explain, like, I pulled my bacon cheeseburger toward me. I don't keep the kosher laws, even though I'm Jewish. Like, there's always
Right.
like, they have to sort of
Right.
like state that in some way. And now I'm starting to feel like a little annoyed by that. Like, it's just like,
Yes.
that seems to be like the one time, like, I don't know why all these authors are doing that. They feel like that's one thing that needs explaining, or like that's
Yeah, it's
one
like
kind of
right.
like, okay, but you're also Jewish and you're like driving on Shabbat. Like, I don't know, like, why does that thing sort of need to be
That's
explained? It
interesting.
feels
Yeah.
like sort of stereotypical, and I don't know. I feel like that annoys me now a little bit.
Well, it even happened in the Israeli book, I think.
Yeah,
Where
she was
I
like, "Look
think,
at us
yes.
two Jews eating milchik after fleishik," or she didn't use those words, obviously.
She would never.
No. Chalavi.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that I hear you. I'm gonna notice it now.
Yeah,
It
all right.
happens a lot.
It does happen a lot.
Although, you know where I don't think it happens,
Hmm.
and I love her books and I would love to read more of them, the Raizel and Solomon books.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it doesn't happen there.
I think she's like, she is who she is. She's like comfortable being the kind of Jew she is, and they eat what they want to eat, but I don't think she names it.
I think you might be right.
Yeah. Wait, there are some funny Goodreads reviews.
Oh, good.
Okay. So Kat finished reading this book March 14th, 2024. If imagining what I've read of this book so far if imagining what I've read of this book so far as a dating profile, it would look something like aspiring single NYC woman looking for a small town Hallmark movie inspired romance. I live in a fantasy world where this type of relationship exists. I'm also immature and frequently love to speak in crass ways. This book and I are breaking up. It was a short-lived relationship. Maybe it wanted to take things further than I did, but after getting to know about 40% of it, I can clearly see we're not meant to be. I wanted sweet and happy with maybe a little bit of ooh la la wink wink later. This book initially seemed like it might be that, but quickly after meeting one another, it went all Penthouse magazine on me with such exciting phrases like boning, gets a lot of tail, getting drunk and laid, and fuck buddy, hot, and pound. Be still my heart, how could I resist such romantic eloquence? It's funny. Sorry, as seen on TV. I know I agree to this date, but you and I just aren't compatible. I've seen great feedback for many of your other dates, and I'm sure plenty more will fall for your charms and swipe right. I wish you all the best. No rating. So funny.
It's really people.
She really didn't
Seriously,
like it.
these Goodreads. There should be a whole book of these. Like these are crazy.
Incredible, the writers, but so many people on Goodreads loved this book.
Oh, great.
Loved this book. That's what she's talking about. Heart, OMG, thank you. This is Kim. It's all about the Thrills review. OMG, thank you, Read Forever Pub, for this adorable book. I was sold at Hallmark and Gilmore Girls vibe. Sign this girl up. So Adi lives in NYC, a struggling writer. She has found her story, ... a small town outside of NYC that she's determined as Hallmark Town. Cute little diners, friendly people, lots of cute available guys, but no. Sad emoji, tear emoji. She's going to get smacked with reality that, well, that is not reality. Anyway, this review is very, very long. I'm going to stop. There's 1,000 emojis, but she's obsessed with this book.
Wow.
At the end. Okay, so bottom line, I love this book. Even if you don't love Hallmark, it's an adorable rom-com that will entertain your socks off. If you do love Hallmark, well, then you're just going to love it even more. Hashtag Team Adi and Finn. Heart, do you love a small town story? Would you love to live in one? I think I would like the idea, but I would miss my shopping options. Laugh, crying emoji, shrug emoji. I love her.
Oh my God. Wow. Jeez.
I skipped half of it.
Right.
People really, really, really enjoyed it. And the thing is, like, there are a bunch of things about this book I really liked. So I want to read more of her books, but it's like, I like the romance and the sex the most.
She did a good
But I'm
job
curious-
building up the chemistry. Like,
100%.
you know, like you were really like, you wanted it to happen by the time it did. And that's hard to do.
It was that whole part of it was great. As seen on TV, this is Abby's review. As seen on TV shows that the best romances are messy, real, and don't always follow Hallmark movie storylines. Adi and Finn learn to let go of their expectations, grow up, and kindle their romance where they least expect to find it. I loved this one. It's an easy, quick read and a wonderful debut by this author. Thanks, Abby.
Oh, it was her debut. It was her first book.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what else she has got going.
Okay, well, I'm glad this was so popular.
Oh, it was. And plus, I do think it's cool because I think it was very popular with people who don't necessarily read Jewish romance. I think it was just like a popular mainstream
Yeah,
rom-com.
right.
And then it's like, good to get some Jewish rep in there.
Totally. Right.
Um,
I stick by our analysis that for me, it could have been like cut really after they got together and she figured out how to write the article, and that whole part about the alcoholic dad was just unnecessary.
I know, I do wonder like why that was the conflict.
Right.
It seemed out of left field to me, but also like maybe it was something personal. Like
Yeah.
people break up for all sorts of reasons. And it's like, especially like new relationships. Like,
Sure.
so like, yeah, you could have a psychotic relationship with someone's dad and being like peace
Right.
at the beginning of something.
Of course.
Like that, I don't want that. But then you're like, you're in it, you really like someone. You've already been told this person's completely bananas,
Right.
a belligerent bananas blackout drunk.
Right.
You're like, wait, your dad was a belligerent bananas blackout drunk.
Right.
He was horrible to me.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
yeah, because that's who he is, which is why I didn't want to be in a relationship in the first place.
Right.
Because I was trying to protect you.
Right.
God, I really
Which is
gotta
what
get
we
over this.
discussed
So
like
just
at great length just a few
Yes.
days ago.
Because this whole relationship is so short
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Like it's not like okay, and then months go by and it wears on her. No. It's all 3 days.
Right. Anything else on As Seen on TV that we want to discuss?
I think we hit the highlights.
I do think so. There were some other things that were happening where I learned some Jewish terms that I hadn't learned ever before or read in a book
Oh.
while we were away. And I can't even think of what it is, but like, is there a Beis Yaakovi term that's like, judge me favorably? Chas v'ch
Yeah,
something?
like schut. Yeah.
Yeah, that. I never heard that before.
Someone
I
was
heard it for the
using
first
that in
time.
conversation?
Kind of, yeah.
Wow. How do you even do that?
A
I
Beis
can't.
Yaakov girl. A Beis Yaakov girl.
Your niece?
No, our cousin.
Oh. Judge me like schus. But like what? About what? Eating gebrocks?
No, it's like no, it was about cousins who had previously babysat for the nieces and nephews, and we aren't going to be babysitting this year. And judge me favorably. There's I don't know, that expression.
Okay. Great.
I've never heard this one before. It's unusual for me to say that.
Yeah. Listen, good. It's good to keep learning.
Say it again.
Lekaf zchut. Like on
Yeah,
it's like
lekaf
on the
zechut.
like lekaf would be like maybe like it means like a spoon or like a side of
vessel?
a scale almost like you know what I mean,
Yes.
like a vessel. Yeah,
Yes.
like the thing that would
Yes.
be on this, like the
Zechus,
holder on the side of.
zechus.
Judge me on the scale of merit, like the side scale of merit.
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you. She kept saying it over and over and told me what it meant, but I was like, I can't retain this
No.
one
'Cause
because
you
I've
need-
never heard it before.
And also, you need a context to use it. That just seems like a not so easy to fit in. I guess they do. Maybe I'm just have the wrong framework.
Yeah, but she was also telling such hilarious stories about her, like the English teachers who are not not on the Hebrew Jewish side of things at Beis Yaakov, who were like Edgar Allan Poe, and then they like bring in some like very yeshivish term where they're talking about something extremely not yeshivish, which was really good material. I was laughing so hard.
But are they all from the English teachers?
Yeah, they're like from yeshivish English teachers who are supposed to be just straight up teaching English, but
Right.
instead they're making it from.
Oh, wow. That's
It
great.
really made me laugh.
That sounds
yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I can't do it justice because I don't know the terms. Again, it was more language I didn't know.
Right.
But I was laughing
To
so
judge
hard.
Edgar Allan Poe, the
It was a
Cops of Court.
16-year-old. It was a 16-year-old describing.
That's really good. That's entertaining. See, that's entertaining.
It was really good. It was the 16-year-old describing her teacher
Using these
just
terms.
using bananas yeshivish Talmud terms about English, and then her like translating an English word to like a yeshivish Beis Yaakov girl as like the middle. She's
Wow.
like the middler of this like world. Our 16-year-old cousin.
Yeah.
It was
She's
very funny.
straddling worlds there.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Like hardworking, extremely educated parents. Like
Of course.
really, really smart and educated, well-read, but, translating for everyone in the house. Very
Amazing.
funny. In her class, that is. Okay. Many months ago, we received an advanced reader copy, an ARC, of a book called Trial Run by S.M. Levine, The Well Space, Book 1. We're reading it.
Yes. It's time.
And now it's available. It's available on Kindle Unlimited.
Oh, great.
And I think if you're a listener of this podcast and you're reading along with us, Kindle Unlimited is absolutely a worthwhile investment because so many of our books are on it.
Right. Agreed.
Tons. Okay, so this book by S.M. Levine, Trial Run, is on Kindle Unlimited. I'm going to read the book overview, and we're reading it for our next episode, okay? 3 weeks to fall in love or lose it all. Dr. Ben Friedman's mental health clinic, The Well Space, has helped hundreds of patients with mental health issues live better lives, but Ben doesn't need any help for himself. He's got it all under control, even though he suffers from worsening panic attacks and hasn't been to the office in a month. Florist delivery driver Nell uses her green thumb and sheer optimism to get by, but under the surface, her roots are withering. The rent is late, her son is sick, and to top it all off, she woke up to an eviction notice. When she knocks on the wrong door and drops her flower arrangement, it's just one more mistake to smooth over with a smile, but the grumpy, formerly dressed man at the door sees right through her cheerful front. An unexpected connection sparks between them as Nell helps Ben through a panic attack on his porch. To thank her, Ben orders flowers for every patient in his practice. Nell agrees to deliver them, but only if he comes along for the ride. A blossoming attraction in the florist delivery van leads them to a 3-week trial run for dating. 3 weeks to see if Ben can step out of his comfort zone and if Nell can overcome her painful past and nourish her long-forgotten goals. Wow.
Sounds good.
It sounds good. It sounds unique.
Yes.
Wow.
Cool.
Really into this.
Yeah.
It's a single mom age gap romance
Oh.
with fantastic mental health representation.
I knew that, but I didn't single mom age gap. Okay, cool.
Say less. I'm into it.
Right.
Okay, so that's our next book. If you're reading along, Trial Run is available on Kindle Unlimited and everywhere you get books. And this has been a very fun episode.
I loved it. Worth the wait.
Worth the wait. We are back, Mal, for our Mosei Shabbat recordings because cheer season ends this weekend. It's the last one.
Amazing.
So I think it's going to be good for us and good for our listeners.
Absolutely. Regular content.
Kids will be asleep. Kids will be asleep.
Love
We'll
that.
be back with 2 episodes a month.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast is produced by William Levin.
Check out his new growing community on Brick TV, BRIC.
Check out Growing Community on BRIC TV. And this podcast is brought to you by Hanukkah Pong, available at newishtraditions.com. Promo code Hanukkah Erotica, HANUKKAHEROTICA for a discount. Do you remember how much of a discount? 20, 25%? I can't remember.
Sounds great. That's a good discount.
Hanukkah Pong. Menorah-shaped beer pong game. Really fun. Really silly. And we don't know when you're listening to this, so it might be Hanukkah time for you. As we're told, it's a very binge-worthy podcast.
We have been told that.
Okay, good night, Mal. This was really fun.
Good night.
Night. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, follow us on Instagram. Send us DMs.
Yeah, that too.
Follow us on all the places that podcasts are available.
Please.
Share, subscribe, leave us a review, especially if you're not our parents.
Bye. Shavua Tov. Thursday night seems like an awkward Shavua Tov moment, but okay.
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos. There you go. That's it. Good Shabbos.